Today on Running Back Philly, we have two different news updates on Joel Embiid, air quotes, ramping up for the upcoming season. How many games do you think Embiid, Maxey, and George will all play together? Does this Joel Embiid stuff affect the Sixers' potential to be at the top of the Eastern Conference? Jared McCain won an award, and Nick Nurse had some comments on a few role players that could play big-time roles for the Sixers this upcoming season. All that and more coming up on Run It Back Philly.
Run It Back Philly. No frauds, no fanboys, no intros.
Perfect. Give me my hat.
Run It Back Philly. No frauds, no fanboys, no intros.
Run It Back Nation, what is good? Thank you for being here. Let's get 1,000 likes on the video. If you enjoy this content, be one of the people. Just hit that little like button. It helps out the content greatly. We're approaching 25,000 subscribers. So if you haven't subscribed yet and you watch this content and you enjoy it, please consider hitting the subscribe button. If you don't enjoy it, you don't want to subscribe, thanks for being here anyway. Thanks for the views. Thanks for the interactions. I don't think I have anything else to say, bro. Let's just get right down to business, okay? Because over the weekend, some stuff is coming out about Joel Embiid. And, he was officially ruled out for the remainder of the preseason. That's number one. Let me know in the comments what you think about that. Do you care? Do you not care? Here's the Tim Bontemps tweet. Joel Embiid has been officially ruled out for the remainder of the preseason as he continues to ramp up for the start of arguably the most anticipated season of his time in Philadelphia. Let me tell you if I care or not. Part of me in the back of my mind is a little bit worried about what's going on, because let's not act like the Philadelphia 76ers have been a transparent organization over the years. Basically, every time a player has been rumored to have some kind of issue, they have never been clear about what's actually going on. I'm scarred. I'm scarred from the Markelle Fultz days. I'm scarred from the Jahlil Okafor days. I'm scarred from Joel Embiid's entire career. I'm scarred from everything. So there is that part of the back of my mind where I'm like, I feel like they're not telling us something. Okay. But on the bright side, or a more positive outlook, Joel Embiid has not really played in the preseason. I don't know. You could probably go back to most of the last couple of years. So should we really care? Probably not. We know how good Joel Embiid is when he's in shape and when he's good to go. We'll just see, what they do. I would assume. Now, if Joel Embiid, listen to me, look at me. If Joel Embiid doesn't play the opening game of the season, then we're talking about something totally different, okay? But the preseason, no, we really shouldn't care that much about. Okay, but Ramona Shelbourne adds to this. This is part of the plan to ramp him up after the extra workload at the Olympics over the summer. The biggest goal is to make sure he's healthy all year, particularly for the playoffs. This stands out to me, what she said. This is the part of the plan to ramp him up after the extra workload at the Olympics over the summer. Joel Embiid played in maybe 6 Olympic basketball games. He played maybe 15 minutes each one. We're acting like Joel Embiid carried a family of refugees on his back up the side of the Mount Everest. And now he needs the whole offseason. He needs a ramp up and recovery from playing 15 minutes in 6 games. I don't know what's going on. What the freak is extra workload at the Olympics over the summer? I don't know. You guys give me your thoughts in the comments. It just sounds like, man, can this guy handle much of anything when it comes to basketball at this point with the knee? I'm not sure. It seems like he can't even handle 6 Olympic games without having to need 3 months of recovery time. I don't know. Give me your thoughts, okay? But there is a new ESPN article in which Joel Embiid said, if I had to guess, I would probably never play back-to-backs the rest of my career. Shout out to Sixers Justin for posting. That is from ESPN.com, and we're going to go read what Joel Embiid said, okay? Embiid's career has been hampered by ill-timed injuries. Okay, we know that. As a result, after the Knicks series ended, Embiid texted Morey, we got to do whatever it takes to make sure that in the postseason, I'm healthy. Facts. All right, the 30-year-old Embiid is doing his part, arriving at training camp having lost 25 to 30 pounds with the goal to lose more. I don't believe that whatsoever. Maybe 5 to 10 pounds, not 25 to 30. It's just the evolution of your body and getting older and finding ways to stay afloat and be as dominant as I've always been, he said. And after playing in just 433 of a possible 637 games across the past 8 seasons, wow, he played basically half of the games of his career. Embiid's days of playing back-to-backs appear to be over. If I had to guess, I would probably never play back-to-backs the rest of my career. We're going to be smart about it. Morey said part of being smart about it is having both Paul and Joel probably not play many back-to-backs, if any. I didn't know that was in there. Part of being smart about it is having both Paul and Joel probably not play many back-to-backs, if any. Wow. We are going to see a Paul George, Kawhi Leonard load management season for the Philadelphia 76ers. Again, thank the basketball gods that we have Tyrese Maxey to keep us entertained the whole season. I mean, bro, Maxey's going to go off if these two guys are load managing the whole year. The Paul George part really threw me off and really kind of changes the opinion I was about to give on some things towards the end of this video. That is, wow. Yeah, let's keep going, okay? Because I don't want to be super negative. It is what it is. If you're healthy when the playoffs come around and that's what I was going to ask you guys. You know, now that we know that Paul George and Joel Embiid are probably not going to play many back-to-backs, if any, how many games, answer me in the comments, how many games do you think you will see all 3 of these players on the floor this season? Because, you guys could say 60 if you want to, but I'm talking about all 3 of them, because not only is Joel Embiid and Paul George not going to play back-to-backs, you're going to get games where Joel Embiid's playing and Paul George is resting. You're going to get games where Paul George is playing and Joel Embiid is resting. How many games are all 3 of these guys going to play? I'm going with about 40. That's what I'm going with. Hopefully it's better than the James Harden, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant Nets season where they played 8 total games together. I'm going with 40. You let me know in the comments what you think. And also, this random tweet that I found, it's not anybody in particular, but this guy says, I can't see him playing more than 60 games even with good health, and PG will sit a bunch too. But the interesting part I want to respond to is going to be really tough for the Sixers to get a top 3 seed. And I was going to fire back on that and say Tyrese Maxey and Paul George with the depth on this roster is still good enough to get a top 3 seed. But now that I saw Paul George is also going to be load managed, he might be right. It might be really tough for the Sixers to get a top 3 seed because we might see 40 games without Joel, without all 3 playing together at the same time. But you might get that Tyrese Maxey MVP level season that I was talking about with all of that. Give me your thoughts on everything there. We got a couple more things. Jared McCain won an award, and Nick Nurse had some comments on some players. But, yeah. Don't be negative, Eastwood. Don't be negative. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Everything's okay. Everything's okay. Everything's okay. The Sixers are just going to Sixer, bro. Let's keep going. Jared McCain won an award with the Sixers after having the most wins in practice. What does that mean? Let's hear it.
Which court's the main court for practice? This one?
Jared McCain has a YouTube channel, by the way, where he documents all of his stuff. I'm getting like Matisse Thybulle vibes on that, but we're not going to, whatever.
Why is your face on there? What did you win?
I got like the most wins in a week.
Oh.
This is like cutscene.
2K cutscene.
Okay, Jared McCain won an award for most wins. Listen, Jared McCain's impressed the hell out of me. Of course, you real ones know how I reacted to drafting him, but he's impressed me so far, especially what he did against the Boston Celtics. Fully healthy outside of Kristaps Porzingis, championship roster. For him to drop 20 points out there, yeah, the shooting splits weren't great. He was like 9 for 20 or something like that, but to go out there as a rookie and drop 20 points against the Boston Celtics is a huge step in the right direction for Jared McCain. I think he shows strength. He finished over Derek White 2 times that I saw. Body contact, full head of steam to the rim. Took body contact from one of the best guard defenders, shot blockers in the game, Derek White, and finished over him. So Jared McCain showed me some strength, some aggression, getting to the rim and finishing through contact on top of his already, buttery smooth and quick 3-point trigger. So Jared McCain's really impressing me, man, so far. So, I'm happy about that. And, yeah. And 2 things Nick Nurse said about, one thing about KJ Martin and one thing about Guerschon Yabusele. Nick Nurse said KJ Martin had a really good camp. One of the guys that I've been pleasantly surprised with. He really had a big summer working on his shooting. It looks better. It looks like it's going in a lot more in the charted stuff that we do. Go ahead in the comments for me here. Cap or true? Cap or true in the comments, okay? Cap or fact? Well, I need something that rhymes a little bit or sound rolls off the tongue. Cap or fact in the comments on the KJ Martin stuff, okay? Because I'm calling cap. I'm calling cap. KJ Martin's on a balloon deal. They're going to trade him at the deadline, and their job the entire season is to talk up KJ Martin and make other NBA teams at least think that KJ Martin has some kind of value. All right, I think he's a hell of an athlete. I think he's a good on-ball defender, but his shot looks exactly the same. It looks absolutely terrible. I watched him take a wide-open 3 from the corner against the Celtics and hit the side of the rim. It's still not good. He's not a shooter. He doesn't look comfortable shooting the ball. I'm calling cap on that. And Nick Nurse had something interesting to say about Guerschon Yabusele. We're really in the early stages. We're trying to figure out where we'll need him the most. Tonight, he's going to start at the 5. I'm not sure if that's where he'd rank first positionally between the 3, 4, and the 5. A lot of people were saying Guerschon Yabusele is not going to play center. I told you, Nick Nurse has mentioned a couple times now that he's using Guerschon at the center position. I will say the thing that makes me nervous about Guerschon Yabusele at the center position is his defense and rebounding. He's a physical player, but I've seen so far in the preseason a couple of times where he fouls pretty obviously because he's played in the Euro League for 4 years, and he doesn't really understand how fouls are called in the NBA. He usually shoulders the shit out of somebody and looks at the official like, what the hell did I do? So I think Guerschon Yabusele is going to have trouble the first half of the season with fouls per minute, just because coming from the Euro League, being used to playing that style of ball for so long where they call fouls, but they don't call every little incidental contact. And the NBA, they call everything. You know what I mean? So there's that. Also, his rebounding numbers over his career are not good at all for his size, and even in the preseason, I haven't really seen him stand out really whatsoever as a rebounder. So it's interesting for me. I don't think he's a good enough rebounder or defender to really play the 5. Maybe the 4. He's hit some 3s in the preseason so far. Again, he's a pretty good 3-point shooter for his size, so I like him at the 4. I think he's going to be probably too big and slow to play the 3. I personally think the 4 is the position for Guerschon Yabusele right now, not the 5. Give me your thoughts on that, and we will, we'll see what they decide to do. And before we get out of here, let's just make fun of some Celtics fans. Celtics Unite on Twitter posts this scores of a bunch of preseason games where they're playing against teams like the Sixers without their starters and blowing teams out in the preseason. And don't get me wrong, obviously championship level team, they're great. They're deep as hell, and they weren't even really trying against the Sixers, but it was against the Delaware Bluecoats. And this guy says Brad Stevens broke basketball. Come on, bro. This is not basketball. This is half-speed preseason basketball. You played against the Delaware Bluecoats. Brad Stevens didn't play basketball. We need to humble Boston Celtics fans this season. We also need to humble Knicks fans this season. Sixers sickos, man, thanks for hanging out with me today. Tonight, Sixers-Hawks preseason game. I will be live streaming that right here. The whole game, 7:30 p.m. Join me. I will see you all very soon.